All right. Hey, Lindsay Fry, I am so happy to have you with us today. Great to have you here. Today, I'm excited to talk to you on Halftime Heroes because you're an Olympian, you're a businesswoman, you're a philanthropist, you're involved in kids sports, and that may be the part that I really want to dig in the most today. So, first, start off by telling us what are you up to these days? It's been a little while since you won medals at the Olympics, since you were at Harvard playing hockey. What is taking up most of your time today?
Yeah, it's a good question. I feel like 100 different things are taking up my time, but first, I'm happy to be doing this. This is exciting. So thanks for having me. Well, a lot of my time is going toward running the Arizona Kachinas girls hockey program here in Arizona, which I've been the president of for 5 years, and was one of the founders of that program. So that has been really a constant throughout my life. Given that it's springtime, I'm in the midst of getting all geared up to launch my hockey camps for this upcoming summer with Lindsay Fry Hockey. I don't just wear my name on my shirt. There's a full
That
logo.
is so cool. So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm not a total egotistical monster. So just want to make that clear. Um, I've been broadcasting with the Arizona Coyotes, so I am our radio color analyst and am also our one of our TV pre and post game analysts. So that's been really fun, and we've been wrapping up a season that's been a little interesting. So it's always challenging as a broadcaster when things are not going well to help, continue to stay positive and sell the team in whatever way you can. And then on a personal note, just yeah, I've been trying to spend as much time with my wife and my family, and it's definitely tough, especially this time of the season when things are really, really busy, and it's sort of the in between from one season closing to the next season starting and summer starting. So it's been challenging, but it's been good. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Good stuff. Yes, I know you have so many things going all at once, all the time. So let's dig in a little bit to, as you know, the audience of iSport 360's newsletter are sports parents and coaches too. But let's talk a little bit about your youth sports experience. You made it to the highest level, but I'd love to know what your experiences were like when you were 8 and 10, and what role did your coaches and parents play in that experience?
Yeah, great questions. I want to preface this by saying that, having played at the highest level, I played with women who had very different paths than mine. And I think that's important to mention and say because I think sometimes players and parents get caught in this trap of thinking there's only one pathway to success, and there's not. So for me, um, girls hockey was almost non-existent here in
Right,
Arizona when I was first
in
first
the
playing.
in the country, right? I mean, even in the
Yeah, yeah.
country.
Well, I was still, yeah, no, definitely still developing in the country, no doubt. But in Arizona, like for example, when I was born, there were less than 30 girls total playing ice hockey in the state of Arizona. It was very, very, very.
Wow.
And so for me, it was uh really the Mighty Ducks movies that got me into it. And my parents didn't know anything about the sport. I think that's especially for some of the Western markets, that's pretty common where you'll have parents who know nothing about hockey. They were basketball players or baseball players or football players. So I think that's kind of a common thread across hockey. But I was very fortunate. I had parents who decided when they had me and had my brother that um, they were going to just dive headfirst into whatever we were passionate about. And it happened to be ice hockey, which I'm sure caught them off guard. But so I started playing with the boys. I played predominantly boys hockey all the way until I was 14 years old. And there were some challenges, no doubt. Like I had some coaches. I didn't know this, but these were the conversations being had between coaches and my parents that were really hesitant about taking a girl on their team and didn't really know if I would fit in and how it would go. And um, I think my ability kind of outweighed those concerns very quickly in my childhood, which was I was thankful for. My parents just really tried to get involved throughout my youth hockey experience. So my dad ended up being the president of our hockey organization for, oh my gosh, 7 years, 8 years. Had no experience in hockey. He was just a really passionate parent and ended up, going to a board meeting one night and sharing his thoughts and ideas. And they said, we got to get this guy involved because he cares. So anyways, so that was, my dad's involvement. My mom was a team manager for my team one year, my brother's team another year. She was hand making ornaments for 3 months for both of our teams just to, do something special. So they were very involved, for sure. And then once I got to high school, that's when we started to realize that if I wanted to go to college, then I was going to have to find a different solution, a different way to get exposure. So I ended up switching to girls hockey so I could get recruited, but we didn't really have a super strong girls team yet in Arizona at the time. So um, the options were, go to prep school in the Midwest or on the opposite side of the country. And I knew being from Arizona, I was going to have to go far away for college anyway. So I really didn't want to do
Hmm.
that for high school. And so we found this cool solution where I could actually fly with another girl from Arizona to Colorado for practice weekends once a month, and then fly to Detroit, Boston, Minnesota, wherever our games were going to be for that month. And our parents would alternate taking us. And when we were home, she'd practice with her high school boys team. I would practice with my little brother's team. And we made it work and got to spend a lot more time at home while also getting a really good hockey experience. So a lot of sacrifice, especially during those hockey years for my parents. I guess for me, like I didn't really care about, high school dances and football games and sort of your traditional experience. I ended up switching to online school halfway through high school. So all of that was kind of irrelevant anyway. But it was a lot. It was a big commitment financially for my family, time wise for me, it was a ton, but I loved every minute of it. And ultimately it led to me getting recruited at Harvard. So very thankful for the time and effort and money put in to make it happen.
That's incredible. I love that your mom was a team manager too, because we interviewed Brandy Chastain just a couple of weeks ago here, and one of the topics was there's such a shortage of women coaches.
Mhm.
And I'll be the first to admit, like I've been coaching my two daughters for many years, but there are times when I'm talking to these 10 or 14 or 16-year-old girls, and they know that I don't know what I'm talking about because a mom would be much better suited to communicate, connect, model for them. So, we definitely need more women coaching at the youth level and at the professional level too. But nice that your mom was so involved. Let's talk about a topic in youth sports, but I want to connect it back to what you mentioned about the Coyotes right now. You said it's really hard being a broadcaster when your team is struggling. It's also hard being the coach of a youth team when your team is struggling because we every parent will say it's all about fun. I just want my kids to have fun, but you lose the first 3 or 4 games of the season and parents are losing their minds, the kids are losing their minds, like the season is just going down the tubes. Can you talk a little bit about your coaching, your approach to coaching, and talk a little bit about the parents' role and also how you deal with losses or adversity, especially in youth hockey when it's supposed to be about just the kids having fun, learning to love the game, but you need to teach them that winning is important too, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of those things?
Yeah, it's a balancing act. I think the big thing is for a coach, as well as for the parents, it's important to understand what level everybody's actually at, right? I don't think that, you should treat a rec team like it's a tier one AAA team, because otherwise everybody's going to get, on different pages and the communication is going to break down very quickly. Uh, So, for me, the last couple years, my wife and I have been coaching one of our 8U teams. Winning, like, they don't even keep score, right? So it's very clear that winning is not the objective. The objective is everybody having fun? Are they, for me, a win at 8U, regardless of the score, is if they're still screaming their heads off cheering in the last minute of the game. We could be getting thumped 12-0, but if they're still cheering for each other and having fun on the bench at the end of the game, that's success for me at recreational 8U. 16U, AAA, totally different story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those expectations need to be laid out very clearly between the coach, the parents, and the players as far as what the expectation is. So for me, my approach is, regardless, you have to be process driven. You have to acknowledge that, yes, outcomes are important at that level. We want to be successful. We're here investing this time, money, energy so we can go out and hopefully win hockey games. But some of the best teams in the world go through major adversity on the scoreboard. I mean, look at the Edmonton Oilers when they started this season. It was absurd how poorly they were performing as far as outcomes were concerned. But what did they do? They stuck to the process, and now they're comfortably in a playoff position. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's just kind of leaning on my hockey knowledge and being able to show those examples and those analogies to put things in perspective. But I also think it's being able to track progress. I think what parents really want to see and know is that their kid is being taken care of as far as their development is concerned. They're not miserable every time they come home from the rink, and that's the fun part. It doesn't mean that they're like, "Oh, we lost." Whatever. It means, "Oh, we lost. I'm excited to go be with my teammates next practice and figure out how we can get better."
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's right. That's an
so
important differentiation.
Absolutely. So I think it's really about the communication. It's about helping families understand the process, actually being able to show them the progress along the way in the process, which is why, I think iSport 360 is so great as far as what you guys provide with the constant communication, the ability to be not only communicating with the athlete, but also the parent. And I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. So to kind of summarize all of that, you have to set the expectations,
Yep.
and based on the level that you're coaching, you have to consistently communicate the progress and where we are at as a team along the way as far as the process is concerned. And then you do have to make sure that one way or another, whether it's going really well or it's going poorly on the scoreboard, you still are finding ways to have it be fun enough to where kids want to come back to the rink the next day and put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, thank you for the iSport 360 shout out. We did not put that in the script, right?
We did not put that in the script, but it's true. I mean, that's, as president of our program, that is one of the number one things that I see fall apart. We get halfway through the season, and all of a sudden these feelings and emotions that parents have been holding in all of a sudden explode because there was just a breakdown in consistent communication. And
Yeah.
that, I think, is where people can work to alleviate that pain point.
Yeah. Well, you just explained it very well. Most people will talk about those crazy sideline parents or those crazy sports parents. It really comes down to what you just talked about. Something set them off at that moment. They saw their kid get knocked on their ass on the ice, or the referee didn't call a foul, or whatever it is. Something just changes their mindset and they lose it, and they make a spectacle of themselves. And so, you know this, Lyndsey, but we spend a lot of time researching that dynamic and writing about that dynamic so sports parents will understand it. Um, so anyway, last topic. Tell me what's on the horizon for you. I know you have a lot of business aspirations. I know you do a lot of philanthropic things. What's to come?
Oh, well, I'm really excited. This summer is going to be my 10th anniversary for Lyndsey Fry Hockey, which is my summer camp
Nice.
business. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a massive summer. I think I'm going to 12 different cities over the summer. So it's going to be a lot, but it's going to be awesome. As part of that, also in partnership with our girls program here, for the first time ever, I'm running like high performance camps right here in Arizona, so for girls. That it's going to be intensive, like 3-day camps 7 times throughout the summer, flying in coaches from all around the country, because I just saw so many of our families like spending tons of money going elsewhere to get that experience. And I'm like,
Hmm.
let's bring it here. Let's save the cost of travel for them, and let's bring it in-house. And so I'm excited about that. It's gonna be year 6 of the Arizona Kachinas program going into next
Great.
season. So we've kind of finished like a 1 5-year strategic cycle, and now it's time to really ramp up and get ready for the next one. So super excited to see how that all unfolds. We're going to be going through, I think, some big but also really good structural change that I think is going to help us just continue to elevate what we're trying to do. So that's the businesswoman in me gets really excited about, you know, org charts and those types of things. So
Yes.
that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, I just think at the end of the day, it's I'm so lucky that I get to do what I love, and it challenges me and gets me excited every single day to wake up. And as far as broadcasting is concerned, we'll see how that looks within the Coyotes or elsewhere. I'd love to broadcast some PWHL games, so I'm manifesting this here to try to
Hmm.
make that happen. Would love to do some NHL networks type stuff. So we'll see. It's an exciting time. It's a busy time. I feel like I go a million miles a minute from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, but it's all stuff I'm passionate about.
Yeah, you're doing so much for the youth hockey community, for the girls hockey community. I'm very impressed with what you've been able to do, and I know there's so much more work to do as well. So, Lyndsey, I like to finish our interviews here with our lightning round questions. Are you ready?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, let's start with, you do a lot of traveling for your job. Where is one place that you really have been dying to go but haven't been yet?
Ooh, that's a great question. This is just off the cuff, but I have yet to really see, like, I went to Wyoming last summer for the first time ever, but it was a little more in like a um not really kind of like the Wyoming that you think of when you think of the big beautiful mountains and nature and all of that. And so I will be going to Sheridan, Wyoming this summer, which I've heard is absolutely gorgeous and a little
Great.
more north. And so I'm excited to see kind of what the Wyoming that everyone talks about is.
Super. I like that. I like that. Okay, I know you're a gym rat and a rollerblader. Like, what is on the top of your playlist? Who's on the top of your playlist?
Oh, like musically. Wow. Well, it won't surprise my friends, but it might surprise others. I'm a huge musicals girl, so it's not uncommon for a musical to pop up on my playlist while I'm doing anything.
Such
But
as, what are we talking about here? Are we talking like
oh, anything.
Hamilton or Phantom of the Opera or
Oh,
something in between?
Phantom Phantom is my absolute favorite. But I love Hamilton. I love Sound of Music. I love the music. Like really, it is difficult to find a musical that I don't like. So yeah, but I would say right now I've really been jamming to I've been into like listening to some 80s rock randomly. I just found it
Hmm.
on Spotify, and yeah, been jamming to that.
I'm very happy that 80s rock has been making its way into other generations besides
Oh
just
yeah,
mine. I'm
timeless.
thrilled that you're
Timeless.
listening to it. That's great. Perfect. Last question. Who is there a women's hockey player who you think people should keep an eye on that is just really impressing you right now?
Oh wow.
Or a couple?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think right now it's just this maybe is a cop out, but I think just keeping an eye on the PWHL in general. The new league just launched this year. It
Yep.
is turning a lot of heads, gaining some massive sponsorships, incredible viewership, and I think, there are so many star players on each team, and every person that I've talked to who has gone and seen a game in person, and I'm talking like Hall of Fame NHL players, they are blown away by how good the hockey is, how physical the hockey is. So I would just say keep an eye on the PWHL because it's only going to continue to expand and grow, and it's pretty incredible to see what those women are doing. But yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one player.
Yep, yep. I think it's a really amazing moment for women's sports right now. I mean, things don't happen overnight, but in order for women's sports to have their moment, you need investment, you need media companies to get interested, sports team owners to get interested, the men's sports community, the consumers who would buy tickets and buy jerseys. Like, but I see it happening in a way like right now that it hasn't before. So, I think we should see some good things coming up. Lyndsey, thank you so much for being here with Halftime Heroes and iSport 360. It was great having you.
Thanks, Ian. It was awesome.